reaching to the fans, reaching out to the fans, keeping you abreast of the things that we're working on so that we can have an amazing season for Saginaw and bring home a championship. I will not stop talking about a championship, and Shawn will tell you that. I want to bring a championship home to the constituents, the city of Saginaw.
You're about to go inside the Arsenal, presented by the World of Football. This is the official show for the Michigan Arsenal, a proud member of Arena Football One. Be sure to follow the Arsenal across social media as well as the World of Football for more content covering the greatest sport on the planet, football. Not only can you find Inside the Arsenal on YouTube, but it can also be found across a multitude of podcasting platforms on the World of Football's podcast feed. Links for all of those can be found in the episode description. Now, here are your hosts, Randy and Adam Snow.
Welcome to the first ever episode of Inside the Arsenal. I'm your host, Randy Snow, and I'm joined by my son, Adam.
Hey there, everybody. I'm super excited to have this opportunity. We're very appreciative of the Arsenal organization for entrusting upon us schmucks to do a show all about the team. This is pretty exciting stuff. Uncharted territory for us, Dad.
Yeah, and people may be asking themselves, what do we know about arena football? People who maybe aren't aware of our YouTube channel and our social media and all the videos we do, but we do have quite a long history with the arena football, and it goes back to the year 2000 when we attended our first arena football game in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Got to see the Grand Rapids Rampage play the Tampa Bay Storm. Adam and I were both hooked, and the next year we were season ticket holders. And we were season ticket holders of the team through 2008 when the team folded. A very sad time for us. The Rampage won the 2001 Arena Bowl championship. That was pretty exciting. We were there for that. And then we just have loved the game ever since. After Grand Rapids left, we went on to follow the Cleveland Gladiators because the former head coach at Grand Rapids went to Cleveland. So we'd make the 4-hour trip to Cleveland, check out games, get home at 2 o'clock in the morning after a game or whatever. But yeah, our connection with arena football goes way back, and we've just loved this game for many, many years.
Yeah, we're very passionate about it. If you check out our YouTube channel, you see loads of content we've made following the league last year, the Arena Football One, in its previous incarnations. We just love the sport. It's a very special game to us, and this is the kind of opportunity. After that press conference, back in October, the 15th there in Saginaw, Michigan, when they officially announced the team, we told the owner and head coach, hey, if we can help out in any way, we would love to try to do something. And they felt confident enough in us for some reason to let us try this show out. And so here we are. And to be honest with you, I think this excitement, I don't know about you, Dad, but the excitement for me started way back in June. Back before that, I got a text message, full disclosure, I got a text message even before the official announcement that Michigan was even getting a franchise. I had to keep it a secret from you, and it was eating away at me for like a week or two. And then when you finally found out about it at the Arena Crown press conference in June, it took us a few months, but a lot of stuff was happening behind the scenes between hiring head coach Shawn Liotta. I think he said he was hired sometime in July. For an announcement that didn't come until October. Owner George Bradford was doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. He said he looked all over Michigan and settled on Saginaw. And we're very excited. We think a lot of cool stuff is happening, and we're hoping to put together a really cool show for fans of the Arsenal or fans that want to be fans of the Arsenal. So this is kind of a 101 episode, trying to get some of the basics out there for fellow fans because we love the game, and we just wanted to create a nice show for the fans of the Arsenal and arena football to just, keep them up to date with what's happening with this team.
And Adam, you can't be inside the Arsenal without talking to the man responsible for bringing arena football back to Michigan. I got a chance to sit down and talk with Arsenal owner George Bradford, who's excited to get the 2026 season going. It's been about a month since we were there in Saginaw for the press conference. what have you, sir, been doing since that press conference, since we saw you last?
I can tell you, Randy, it's been extremely busy. Since the press conference, we've received so many calls and inquiries regarding ticket sales, merchandise, sponsorship packages. When is the schedule going to be released? It's been, we've been working around the clock to try to get some of these things in place and in order. But I can say that we're starting to finalize some things. The schedule is going to be released soon, and we're trying to make sure that we have everything ready to go once the schedule of who we're going to be playing is released. So it's been busy.
Okay. I'm sure you've been talking with many local sponsors to see who's interested in supporting the team. How's that going?
Yeah, that's that's the most important part, honestly. Meeting so many people. I attended a Chamber of Commerce meeting, their opening breakfast last week. They had about 350 local business owners, as well as members of the Chamber of Commerce. So that was just doing things like that, meeting people in the communities, not just business owners, but actually locals, and making them aware of what's coming. What's coming in April? We're the Michigan Arsenal. We're Saginaw's team, and we're excited about it.
I want to ask you about the field. We've been hearing about this red and black field. We finally got a picture of it, and the big question is, do we know or have an idea when that is actually going to arrive in Saginaw?
It's funny you mentioned that. The field should be ready sometime in February. So I told the builder that the season's going to start in April. We want to get it in and ship it, everything, set it up, practice setting it up sometime in February, maybe early March at the latest. So that's being made, as we speak. So it's ongoing. So that's going to be great.
Okay. From the picture that I saw and Adam saw, it looks really cool. I can't wait to see the real thing with the nets in that Dow Event Center. That's going to be awesome when that gets in place.
Absolutely. And what I'm trying to do, I'll just give you a little bit of more information. What I'm trying to do is try to figure out what our uniforms are going to look like to kind of flow with the field, right? So I want everything to look nice. I want everything to go together, to match. And I really want us to look like a true Arsenal on that field.
Is there any kind of a timetable for the uniforms to be set in stone?
Well, I have an idea. I have a visual of the helmet. Someone sent me a design of what the helmets are going to look like. The coach likes them. The rest of the team, the staff likes them. So that's where we are. But the uniforms, we're still working on that. Next podcast, I'll have more information for you.
Okay. All right. Good enough. You mentioned the schedule release. You said that's coming, in the next couple of weeks, maybe?
It's from the league. It should be in mid-November, so I'm anticipating possibly next week sometime.
Wow.
We just finalized and provided all the information, the available dates of the arenas for all the teams. We sent that into the league, and we should be hearing something pretty soon. I know they're working diligently behind the scenes to make sure that we play one of our biggest rivals, possibly, which would be New York. The Firebirds in Albany, since they won. The owner over there, Mike, he's already started some things up with other locals in the Albany area, hoping to try to create this rival. So that's the team I really hope we can play first and beat them.
Cool.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Now, before the team was announced last month, you attended something known as the AF1 University over in Chicago. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that experience. That was your first time going through anything like that.
First time ever. I didn't know what to expect going into it. But once I got there, I felt very comfortable, and everyone was basically laid back. And they actually shared some of their success stories in terms of, ticket sales and gathering sponsorships, as well as some of the pain points that they encountered with their teams over the last year or so. So it was really good to get that inside information from those guys. So I knew somewhat what to expect as I launched the Arsenal. So it was pretty good. And they were very transparent. I talk to some of these guys every day. They're sharing their stories with me. They're sharing their merchandise and other clients that they work with me. So it's like a family. They've been very transparent. So it's been great.
Talking about tickets and merchandise, is that all contingent on when the schedule comes out?
Not necessarily. Merchandise, we've been getting requests for merchandise since the press conference. It's just making sure that we find the right merchandiser to help us market the Michigan Arsenal. I am very particular on making sure that we have quality. If someone gets a sweatshirt, that it's going to last, and it's going to be it's going to be something that's they're going to wear want to wear with pride. So I'm just making sure that we have the right merchandisers in place so that we can actually not just provide clothing, but also trinkets and toys and things for the kids, because we really want to create that family environment, right?
Sure.
So we want to have the kids in merchandise as well. So I just want to make sure that we're capturing everything so that we can have merchandise available for everyone that comes to the games.
You're currently having a Design the Mascot contest. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. Well, I have an idea what the mascot will look like, but I think it'll be better to get the people, the fans involved. So the person that actually designs the mascot, the one that we choose, they're going to have season tickets to all 6 games. They're going to have there's going to be a $500 prize. I'll probably bring them out on the field, and we're going to start designing the mascot as soon as possible. So we're starting to get a lot of designs in. It's been unbelievable. We've received things from engineers that have sketched things, professional sketches. We received things that was just on a piece of paper and someone drew up an idea. Either way, we're taking them all in, and we're going to vote. I'm going to have the coach vote. My VP of Operations, Celeste Stacker, she's leading this initiative, and I can't wait to see what comes out of it. Whatever winner that we select.
Is it mainly people from Michigan that are submitting ideas for the mascot,
Yes.
or are you getting them from other states too?
Yes, mainly from Michigan. Mainly from Michigan. I think quite a few of them have come from Saginaw, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. So mainly from Michigan, mainly Saginaw, and I'm excited to see others that are coming in. So we're gonna carry this throughout the end of the month, because it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to actually build the mascot uniform. So I just want to make sure that we get as many in as possible, and so we can have different options and put it to a vote. If we have to have 2, then we might have 2. But I think it will represent the team, as long as it represents the team in the way that it needs to.
Okay. Now, you've also got an open tryout coming out,
Yes.
coming up on December 7th in Midland, Michigan. Talk a little bit about the open tryout.
Yeah, it's time. I'm excited about this. The coach is excited. Tryouts. We want as many local people as possible to be on the team or to try out as well. We're excited. We're at the Midland Civic Arena for the tryouts. It's going to be from 2 to 5. We're looking forward to as many people registering and coming out and showing what they got. We received so many, since the press conference, we received so many films, emails, hey, I used to play in this league. People were saying that they're interested in coming back home to Michigan to play, which is great. People that have gone to Central Michigan, Saginaw Valley State, a guy that came from Michigan State. So we have so many different players that are really, really interested in trying out for the team. And I can't wait till December 7th. Can't wait.
Now, is this going to be the only tryout, or is there a possibility of another one somewhere down the road?
Well, as far as the coach is concerned, the coach told me there's only going to be one tryout. So we want to have as many people as possible because we need to probably start training camp, I believe in March is when we're going to start training camp. So we're going to have this tryout in December. I think with the pool of talent that we have in Michigan, I'm pretty confident that we could probably get what we need on this one tryout. If not, then we'll host another one, whatever the coach has to say about it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the deadline to register for the December 7th tryout is November 30th, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, November 30th, because December 7th, we're ready to go. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
I understand you might be participating in a parade somewhere in Saginaw soon?
Yeah. Yes. We reached out to the Pride of Saginaw. It's a nonprofit organization. And they mentioned that invited us to participate in the parade coming up in the end of this month, November 21st. So we're gonna take my vehicle, maybe take a couple other vehicles, and participate in the parade. Is something I've never done, so I'm excited about it. And quite honestly, this is my favorite time of year. I love Thanksgiving. So we're gonna participate, pass out some trinkets to the fans, and kind of once again make them aware that we're coming and we're going to be at the Dow Center.
You're going to be wrapping your car in red and black tape to be in the parade.
We're going to figure something out. Celeste, our VP of operations, she's very, very creative. So she's trying to put something together, and we'll see what happens.
Okay. All right. George Bradford, owner of the Michigan Arsenal, thank you for talking with us today. I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime. I enjoy this, guys. And, this is what it's all about, reaching to the fans, reaching out to the fans, keeping you abreast of the things that we're working on so that we can have an amazing season for Saginaw and bring home a championship. I will not stop talking about a championship. And Shawn will tell you that. I want to bring a championship home to the constituents, the city of Saginaw. So that's my goal.
I'm sure Shawn won't stop talking about it either, because you two pretty much think quite a bit alike.
Oh yeah, we've had so many conversations, and it's easier when you're on the same page. He and I are on the same page. We want the same thing. We just hung up the phone right before this podcast, and things are going to be great. I'm excited about what he's going to bring to the city with the team that he's developed.
Thanks, George. We'll be talking to you again soon.
All right. Look forward to it. Take care, guys.
Now, I'm sure there's a few fans out there that are excited about the Arsenal coming to Michigan, but don't know about the league that they're going to be playing in this season. So I thought, Dad, it'd be appropriate right now for us to just kind of go through some of the basics of what Arena Football and Arena Football 1 is. So Arena Football dates back to 1987. That's when the first games were played. A game that was created on a manila envelope by Jim Foster. He worked with the NFL. He went to an indoor soccer game, and through conversation, he just sat there. He pulled out a manila envelope and designed the Arena Football game that we pretty much know today. Yeah. It's gone through many iterations. The league, it was the Arena Football League from 87 to 2008. It folded for a year, came back for a few years, then it went under again, came back for a year. That was a crap show. We don't need to go into that, but then it became Arena Football 1. And Arena Football 1 is where we are now. This will be the second season of Arena Football 1 going into this season. And right now, the league has 9 teams. Those teams being the Albany Firebirds, who were last year's Arena Crown champions. They undefeated Arena Crown champions. I will not besmirch them, that title. The Beaumont Renegades, Kentucky Barrows, our Michigan Arsenal, Minnesota Monsters, Nashville Cats, Oceanside Bombers, Oregon Lightning, and Washington Wolfpack. And you might have heard me say it, the championship game is called the Arena Crown. And we were at that game last year, Firebirds versus Cats. It was a heck of a game. Yeah. And it was really, to me, what Arena Football, it definitely felt Arena Football's back. They made it the whole season. They put on a great championship game. We got to do like the pregame show with the Firebirds Nest podcast. That was a lot of fun, and some other buddies. So it was a lot of fun. If you guys get a chance to go check that out. But Dad, what are some of the other basics about this game? Some of the other basics about this game that you like about Arena Football.
Well, I like that it's 8 players on each side. It's a 50-yard field, 8-yard end zones, and the sport of arena football actually has a U.S. patent. It's the only sport in the world that has a U.S. patent on how the game is played. And a big part of that is the rebound nets. Nets.
I'm just excited about the nets. You start talking about the rebound nets. I love the rebound nets. They're like the best. When you think arena football, Dad, the first thing you picture is the nets. That's what makes it stand out. That's what makes arena football unique. That's why these leagues that call themselves arena football, that they play arena football, and they don't have the nets, I'm like, you're not arena football then to me. Like, you just aren't. You need the nets. That is like 99% of what makes it arena football.
Yes. The nets are 30 feet wide, 32 feet high, with a 9-foot crossbar. You kick the ball between those nets. That's your goalpost, half the size of an NFL goalpost. So nine
Yeah.
feet to score 3 points or an extra point. It's just a really, really great game. So exciting. If you've never seen a game in person, you are really missing out on this great game.
Yeah. Because anything that also hits those nets, that's a live ball. Like, as long as it's not an extra point, I believe the rest of the time, if it hits the crossbar, hits the net, that's a live ball. Anybody could get it. That's why chaos can ensue if you have a great kicker. And that's a secret weapon in this league also, fans. If you have a great kicker, they can make a difference maker. Like Albany had Henry Nell last year, and that dude should have, I'm going to say it right now, he should have been league MVP. No disrespect to Sam Castronova, quarterback of the Firebirds, who was league MVP last year. But Henry Nell was a difference maker for that Firebirds team. That dude would kick. He could make so many plays with just his foot. It was awesome. So hopefully the Arsenal will find themselves a kicker. I know Sean's looking for a load of talent, and kicker's going to be one of those, I'm sure.
Yes.
All right, anything else about the game people should know about, Dad, before we move on into another special interview we have today?
No, let's bring in the coach.
All right, guys. Yeah, that's right. I had a chance this week to catch up with Arsenal head coach Shawn Liotta and pick his brain about the team he's putting together here in Michigan. All right, guys, we have on the show joining us now is your head coach of the Michigan Arsenal, Shawn Liotta. Shawn, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you since the press conference. How have things been going? How's the coaching staff coming along, and how's that roster coming along now?
Well, listen, hey, Adam and Randy, I appreciate you guys, doing this show here. I think it's going to be awesome for all of our Michigan Arsenal fans and all of the fans of Arena Football One, really. This is going to be the premier show out there. I think everybody knows that. That's we're setting the bar pretty high. And
we appreciate that. We're just trying to do our best over here.
Yeah, we're trying to do a little more and do our best. You guys are doing better than that. I think we're setting the bar. We're going to set the bar pretty high here. But to that note, it has been crazy busy. I mean, this thing here rings about 1 million times a minute. Players, partners, sponsors, people that want to be a part of what we're doing, people that want to know about tickets. And by the way, I don't have anything to do with the selling of the tickets. The team will get all that information out, so I can't sell you tickets, unfortunately, but those are coming. So stay tuned for that information. And it's just been nuts. I mean, it really has. The support, the interest, the people are so hungry for arena football to be in Michigan and in Saginaw. So that part has me really, really excited. As far as players go, it's been awesome. We're putting together, I think, a very good roster, the right type of guys. And I'm very selective with the guys that we go after and sign. I just don't go and sign guys. We do a pretty extensive evaluation on guys. We want guys that are going to be positive ambassadors of Michigan Arsenal football in the community here, as well as, on the field. So we want guys who are winners on the field, winners off the field. And, I'm excited about the guys we've been signing. I think, some of them have been released through the league transactions. I always got to be careful with who I talk about, because sometimes the transaction hasn't cleared yet through the league office. But obviously Malik Henry, I believe we have the best quarterback in the league. We'll get him on the show very soon. You guys will enjoy having him on and talking to him, as well as a lot of the other really talented guys that we're bringing in. And, a lot of rookies, guys with some experience, and sometimes guys, you'll hear guys say, well, you don't want to have a lot of rookies, in arena football. And, I put some credence to that. I'll agree with that to some extent. But to me, I like to bring young, hungry guys in here, guys that can play, that have really good talent. And I've always been pretty good over the years of finding those guys that are kind of slip through the cracks, and guys who aren't on a lot of people's radars but can really play, because there's so many guys out there that can really play. And I'll get into the philosophy of roster building with you, as we go along. But bottom line is, we're going to get guys here that are winners. We're going to get high quality football players here. We're scouring the country, so we're recruiting nationwide. We've got players from California. We've got players from both coasts already, and we want to get as many from Michigan as we can get. We want to get some. We just signed one from, played at Saginaw Valley State right there. A really good player, played in the league last year, and we're looking forward to all those guys. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And what about the coaching
Yeah.
staff?
So
any updates on that?
Yeah. So again, those announcements will be coming soon, but our coaching staff is basically completed. It's a lot of people that have obviously worked with me in the past that have won championships with me, and been a part of successful organizations, and I know they're great coaches, great people, great teachers, and really excited about our staff. So our staff is essentially complete, and really looking forward to it.
So what's it like building a team, a staff, all of that from the ground up? You pretty much started from nothing, and here we are. In past experience, when it's been come to building teams for yourself, where do you think the Arsenal are right now in comparison to maybe how you've built teams in the past?
Sure. Oh, I think we're really, first and foremost, it all starts with the ownership. In terms of anything I'm doing, I can only go as far as the vision of our ownership and the support of our ownership and our front office. And I think George Bradford's one of the best out there. I mean, he has provided the resources for us to be able to accomplish great things here in Michigan. He's committed to wanting to bring a championship team to Michigan. And when you have that, it makes things a lot easier. And it's always a challenge, right? Because we have to get everything. We're getting, storage containers delivered at the arena so we can store all of our brand new turf and goalposts and dasher pads. And we're closing those deals. And, like I said, George is first class with all of that. All of that's brand new. So we're getting all that in. We're ordering equipment. We're picking out helmets, shoulder pads, uniforms, footballs. We've got footballs getting delivered with the logo for the tryout. I mean, it's exciting because everything's from the ground up, and the level of support that we've seen so far in the community, from the local businesses, the Saginaw Valley State, local universities. It's really been, the Saginaw Spirit, the hockey team that we share, the arena with. Everyone has really been great. Everybody's been really supportive, and all of those things. When you get all those things aligned together, you're going to have something special. So, the whole process. A lot of people think it's arena football. You just call a couple guys and sign some guys and slap the team on the field, and here you go. And there's a lot that goes into it, much more than I wish it was that easy to do. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of planning and execution on the plan. And that's another thing I think that's important. A lot of people have plans, right? And what was the saying they said when people would fight Mike Tyson, everybody'd have a plan until they got knocked out, right? And I think
until they got punched in the face.
Yeah, until they got punched, and in this game you're going to get punched, and in building new franchises from the ground up, you're going to get punched, and you got to be able to, get back up and persevere and all of those things. And I think all that's important. And I think we have the right mindset here, and I think we're winners here, so we're going to be winners on the field. We're going to be winners off the field. And, really, really excited. I just think this is going to be great for the Saginaw community, the state of Michigan, really, because we want this to be Michigan's team. I keep kind of saying that over and over again, but we mean that. We want this. We are playing in Saginaw, but we want this to be Michigan's team. I think we have a great opportunity, to do that. And, I've said this before in terms of fandom, right? So you hear a lot of, Michigan Panther fans. I see a lot of things that people are sad, that the Panthers are gone and they're not playing at Ford Field this year. And that is a shame. But I would challenge each of those fans. And we're going to put something together, I believe, ticket-wise for, former fans of that team to kind of get a taste of what Michigan Arsenal football is about, because I think that would be a great idea. Because I promise you, if you come to one of our games and you compare that to the experience you had at a Michigan Panther game, if you were a Michigan Panther fan and you were in the fan club and all that other stuff, you will fall in love with the Michigan Arsenal if you come to a game. I promise you that. But we got to get you to a game so that you and your family can experience it, because there is nothing like arena football if you have not been there. I sometimes get myself in trouble saying this, but I don't think our game necessarily translates great to television. And I hate to say that, because obviously we have national broadcast partners and we do, broadcast our games, things like that. There's nothing like being there, the intimacy of it, the way you can feel it, the way you can touch it, the way you can smell it. Honestly, you're that close. You know what I mean? There's nothing like it. There is nothing like this game. There really isn't. And there really is something for everyone. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter, there's something for kids all the way up to your teenager, your wife, your grandmother, whatever it might be. That anyone that comes, I've never had someone come to tell me they haven't had a good time. And in fact, in a lot of my time, if I'm out in the community, somebody will see the logo on the shirt, right? And they'll say, Michigan Arsenal, what is that? I've never heard of that. Arena football? We have arena football. I've never been to an arena football game. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll leave tickets for you. Come to the game. Inevitably, I'm telling you, every single time they come up to me after the game on the field when we're having our meet and greet autograph stuff, they say, Coach, I want to thank you. We are buying season tickets. I love this. Like, I've never been to something like this. Like, this is just insane, crazy fun, and we're hooked. And I can't tell you how many people that happens to.
Speaking of the community of Saginaw is not a stranger to football being played on a 50-yard field inside that Dow Event Center. They used to have the Saginaw Sting, but the common misconception a lot of people have is that they played arena football. It was a generic term that a lot of people just hear that, and it just stuck with everything that's played indoors. They did technically play indoor style. Do you think you could explain the difference to those fans? Because I saw some of the news headlines that says arena football is back in Saginaw, and I'm that type of guy that's like, technically they have never had arena football. There've only been 4 arena football teams in the state of Michigan, that being the Detroit Drive, Grand Rapids Rampage, Detroit Fury, and now the Michigan Arsenal is the 4th official arena football that plays that style. Right. Do you think you could tell the fans of the Arsenal what exactly is the difference between indoor and arena, and what makes arena football just stand out?
Well, first of all, we are the Premier League. Okay, just make no mistake about it. We are the Premier League. We're the highest paying league playing indoor arena football in the country. Football indoors, I should say, right? We have the Nets. The Nets totally changed the game, just in so many ways. There are, just so many things that the Nets really alter, from special teams to offensive strategy. There are just so many ways that those Nets can have an effect. And more importantly, those bar balls can have a big time effect on a game. And you're going to see that. The talent level. So listen, I'm going to be honest. I've coached in that arena many times, and the Saginaw fans know me well because I've beaten them a lot of times in there. They had a hard time beating me. I think I was 4-1 or 3-1 in that arena. I probably had a better record in that arena than some of the coaches that they had there. And they had some really good teams. They won championships, a number of years, and we beat them in the championship and we beat them in the playoffs when I was in Erie, Pennsylvania. But the indoor game is just different. It's a different style of game. It's different players. And listen, there's good indoor football played. Don't get me wrong. But the premier players, to my opinion, are in arena football. So you're going to see the top talent that's out there in the country. You're going to see on our fields each and every week. And you're going to see top level coaches. You're talking about legends are going to be coming into our building. Darren Arbett, Damon Ware, undefeated last year. You can't for a second, short credit him. Cedric Walker, what he's building there in Northern Kentucky. And that's just in the teams that are close to us, but you're talking to some really, really good coaches we're going to have to compete with and match wits with, and just ultimately professional. You're going to see a very professional product each and every week come in. Every team's going to be prepared. Every team is going to be really, really good. And, we want the game to be close right up till the end. I'll be honest. I want the fans to be entertained, and I want them for a little short while to maybe think we're not going to pull it out, but we will there at the end. So we want to keep everybody hooked right till the end. And obviously with the way you can score, particularly with the Nets, the game's never over. I mean, it's really truly never over. I mean, we've come back from down 32 and a half before, and I mean, I've seen teams score 21 points in the last minute, easily. So it's really, and that's what we want to get to, and to me, our style of play will dictate that. So offensively, we are going to run a system. We're going to run an arena system. We are going to, we're going to score points the way that you need to score points in arena football. And I see some of these lower, scoring games, and I see teams doing different things with the running game and the shotgun and things like that's not what you're going to see here. You're going to see we're going to try to race to 70 and see if you can keep up. That's honestly the philosophy. We're going to try to get to 70, and we're going to see if you can keep up. And that's the goal. So then the rules are different. So indoor football. So that's the other thing. So indoor football, you might say like, where's the running back? Like indoor football, they have running backs, right? And the league Saginaw was in, they a lot of times employed a true running back. They say we don't use that, So some teams you may see some teams come in and use a running back a little bit. I mean, we have a position back there that's a running back, but like in our offense, he'll be more of a lineman or a tight end type, where he'll get a couple carries here or there. But he's back there to block and protect. And just with the way the rules are set up, the difference is the main difference I can tell you between arena and indoor football rules for the fans. Indoor football, much heavier run emphasis. Like in the IFL, if you're familiar with that, like they dare you not to run. Like there's no linebackers within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. There's 3 defensive linemen. That's why the IFL is heavy run game, and same with the NAL. It's a run base. You got to run your quarterback. Typically, you got to have a mobile quarterback that helps you because you get a +1 there in the run game if your quarterback is mobile and able to do that. The AF1 is totally different. We're now dealing with the defense really has a +1 because they have the MAC linebacker in an A gap. They have the Jack linebacker who starts in the box, and then he can go sideline to sideline, but no deeper than 5 yards. That's the key. So it's basically like the inverse of indoor rules, right? In AF1, we're keeping all the linebackers and the defensive linemen from 5 yards or closer. So you really only have 3 defensive backs to cover. Or 3 receivers, or 4 if we get a tight end out there, or 5 if we release a running back. Okay, so it really favors you to throw the football. So the smart game would tell you when you're playing indoor football, you got to run the ball because you have the numbers to do it because they can drop so many guys into coverage, and they have to play their people so far back from the line of scrimmage just to start. And in AF1, it tells you really got to throw the ball because it's hard to have a successful run game when they have a numbers advantage in that box, that you have to contend with. So, and not that teams haven't had success both ways because there's teams that have had a kind of unorthodox style and kind of done those kind of things. So, it's just, to me, I love the arena game so much more just because of the scoring. You're going to score points. You're going to throw the football. If you want to do that, it's easy for me to recruit receivers. So like when I talk to a receiver, I don't badmouth any league or any style play. I just tell him because he may say, well, I got an IFL team or another. We'll say leagues not to be named that have, an I in them, let's say. Okay. So, they'll talk about, well, I got this. And I said, well, you're a receiver. So I'm a receiver. You want to come here and play? We're going to throw the ball 99% of the time. And we have the best quarterback in arena football. And you look at the numbers statistically of guys that have played for me and played in my offenses. They've put up really big numbers, and we've generally led the league in scoring and offense and things like that. Or do you want to go block and run cardio? If you want to go block and run cardio, go play in one of those leagues with the I in them because you're gonna. And usually that's a pretty easy sell for a receiver. To be honest with you, it's a pretty easy sell just because those kind of guys are going to get showcased more in this league, and really that's what it's about. And you guys go way back into the heyday of this league, right? And in the day, the Dolzell days right behind you. I see the jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were no 28 to 35 games in the Dolzell days, right? I mean, you're going to get into the 60s, 70s, sometimes even more. To me, that is arena football. That is what we're going to bring to the Dow Event Center. We're not. I will be sick. I mean, I'll still be happy, I guess, if we win, but I'll be sick if we win a game like 35-28.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I just won't feel right. That's not what we're doing here. Okay. We want to entertain. We want to score points. So get ready. If you're getting snacks when you come to our games, you're going to have to get them early. You're going to have to get them at halftime. You're going to have to get them in pregame, because if you get up, you're going to miss something. You're going to miss the party. You're going to miss everything that's going on out there.
I will say one of the greatest games I've ever been to was a Rampage loss, and it was an 82-81 game in Grand Rapids. It was one of the greatest games we've ever been. I wasn't even mad that we lost. It was just absolutely just one of the greatest
experiences. And that's the way it is, honestly. That's the way it is, because you're having a great time, right? I mean, you're not watching arena football to watch someone win 28-7, 28-14. You can turn your TV on and watch that any Saturday afternoon. It's called college football. You watch that. You want to even watch a pure version of it, go on a Friday night to a high school field. Go watch high school football. Because to me, that's a type of, that's what you're saying. And I'm not saying that as a knock on any team, but I'm just telling you, we're going to try to get to 70 and see if you can keep up.
All right. Speaking of the rules and stuff, is there a particular rule set in the AF1 or the arena style game that is like your favorite, like the one that stands out to you, like a particular rule or a particular part of the game?
I love all the ones that restrict the defense. I love every rule that hampers and I think I told you guys this before. I may not have. It may have been on a different show, but I was involved in fan controlled football for a long time. I was an executive in that league. And when we were formulating it, I helped come up with the gameplay and all this stuff. And one of my ideas, and I did a whole document on this, and I can send this to you guys because it's very fascinating to see. One of my original ideas was to have 7-on-6, 7 guys on offense and 6 on defense. And I did a whole breakdown of why I thought that was a great idea. So you're asking the wrong guy about defensive rules, right? Because if it was me, I'd like the rule that we could take a guy off. We could actually remove a guy from the defense. And by the way, we had that rule in fan control where you could remove a guy. You could actually remove a guy from the defense. To me, I love the fact that you can't bang the receivers all over the field. That's probably my favorite one, right? That illegal contact is actually called, right? So any contact past 5 yards, they're going to call that. So you can't sit there and grab and hold and mug and do all that to the receivers. I like that protection. I like, obviously, the restriction of the jack and the Mac linebacker. We know where the blitz is coming from. They can't stunt the line. I'm a big fan. So there's a lot of ones. I'm probably giving you a whole list here to write down. I like the fact that you can't stunt the line, twist the line and all that stuff, because some of that stuff is really hard to pick up. Really, the only thing you have to deal with arena is something we call like a bull follow, where they run a little game where they, kind of run a pick with the nose and bring the Mac around. That's really the only thing you have to kind of be really cognizant of. But I like the fact that it restricts otherwise, and obviously keeps that jack linebacker, within 5 yards. That way he's not dropping. It's ridiculous. I've seen, again, other leagues, and I've been a part of other leagues. You get in a long distance passing situation, I've seen teams drop 7. They just rush the nose, and everybody else has dropped. The ends drop off in the flats. They've got everybody else walling off. They've got quarters coverage on the back end, and you're trying to run with 3 or 4 guys in a 28 and a third yard wide field and try to get somebody open. There's not a lot of space. That's what a lot of people that aren't familiar with this don't recognize. You're going from 53 and a third yards wide on the outdoor field. You're going 28 and a third yards wide in our field. That is extremely compressed. I mean, that's really, really, really tight, and it's hard to find windows in zone coverages, when you can drop more than we can have. Now if you want to play zone coverage in arena football rules, there's holes, and you can find the holes. You play sky, cloud, whatever, maze, whatever kind of coverage you're running. There are holes still to be found in that zone. Now you have to hit them on time, and then you have to understand how to read it, but there's still holes there. When you're just playing outdoor football inside, it's really hard. It turns into a sloppier game, I think, truthfully. So I love the arena rule. I love and it's like people say, it's time tested, right? It's not something that someone just made up. Like, these things have been adapted and adjusted as need be. But after all of these years, I think we're in a really good place with where that rule book sits and the style of play sits. So I just think it's a clean game. I think it's a really I love our gameplay. Honestly, I love everything about it, and I'd like it to be more restrictive for the defense. To be honest, I think we should. One thing I'm in favor. Let's play 8-on-7. Let's do that. That'd be fun.
You guys do have tryouts coming up on December 7th. What is it exactly you as a coach and your staff will be looking for? What do you look for when you got these guys coming in trying out? Whether it's their first time, veterans, is there anything in particular that you're looking for when you see like that's the guy, like that guy's got some Kurt Warner grit right there. That's the guy I want. Like, what exactly is it that Coach Liotta is looking for?
Well, we're looking for talent. The easiest answer I can give you, and there will be talent there. So obviously this is our only open workout, December 7th. The Midland Civic Arena there. It's a really nice event, really nice facility. We are looking for guys to make this roster. We're looking for guys to sign contracts for training camp. This is not a money maker. We're not doing this to make money. We're not doing this as a dog and pony show. I have guys coming that we are going to evaluate. And I have guys that have sent me film, and their agents have sent me film. And my response to them is I can't offer them a contract without seeing them in person. Like, I have to see them in person because they may have been out of football for like over a year. I don't know what kind of shape they're in. There's a lot of reasons why we would need to see an athlete work out in person and all those kind of things. And obviously, we're going to time them. It's professional combine. It's no different than your NFL draft style. You're going to have 40. You're going to have the pro shuttle. We're going to have measurements. And then we're going to have individual positional drills. And that, to me, that's the thing that I put the most emphasis on. Obviously, if a guy runs a great time or a great shuttle time, that stands out to me. The 40, actually, I look at the 10-yard splits more so than I do the 40, because rarely is a guy going to be running 40 yards for us. I mean, that's pretty rare, even as a receiver. I look at his quickness in short space. So that's where the pro shuttle comes in. Well, how, can you not touch him in a phone booth type of guy? Is he that kind of guy? What's his 10-yard split look like? So his first 10 and the 40, how fast is he there? We look for those kind of things. But yeah, we're looking for a diamond in the rough. We're looking for guys. This workout is a legitimate opportunity to make this football team. That I can promise you. It is a legitimate shot. And I want as many local Michigan guys as we can get there. So hopefully, we get a lot of local people from the area that come on out, want to be a part of it. I know we've got people flying in for this from all over the country as well to work out. But I'm hoping that we get as many local guys as we can because, again, we want to make this Michigan's team. We want to have as much local talent out there as we possibly can find.
One of my last legitimate questions for you, Coach, will be what the goal of any coach, obviously, is to win the big game at the end. In the AF1, that's the arena crown. Are there any other goals for this team, besides obviously trying to win it all, that you have going into 2026?
Yeah, we're building a franchise. We want to do everything professionally. We want to do everything the right way. We want to make the people of Michigan proud. We want to make the community of Saginaw proud. So again, we want to just be great ambassadors of Michigan Arsenal football in the community. We want to have great people a part of this all across the board, and we want to make an impact, right? Football is the vehicle to do it, but we want to be able to make an impact in the community. We want to make an impact with the youth in the community, and just be a really positive presence there in Saginaw, Michigan.
And before we let you go, Coach, a brand new team in a new town, the first time this team's going to exist. So it's kind of like playing a dating game. So I figured I'd ask you some quick rapid fire questions. So maybe the people of Saginaw, the Michigan Arsenal fans that are going to be coming to these games, get to know you a little better. So I got a few silly little questions I want to ask in rapid fire succession. So just blurt out your answer and then we'll just move on to the next one and we'll just wrap this puppy up.
Let's do it.
All right. What's Coach's favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, Memento.
Okay. Favorite TV show?
I don't watch a lot of TV, but I like to watch the 80s wrestling on the Peacock network. I like to watch the old school, the 80s Coliseum video things there on Peacock. But I don't have a TV show now. I don't have time to watch a lot of TV.
All right, hey, I get that. What type of music are you listening to, Coach? Whether that's in your car going to and from a game, at the game, what are you listening to?
I listen to everything, but I'm an 80s guy, big 80s guy.
Okay. Any particular genre?
Oh, you know what? I like it all, man. The rock, new wave. I mean, I was just in the third row at the Morrissey concert in Pittsburgh. If you know who Morrissey is, the lead singer of the Smiths.
Mm.
I was just in the third row a couple weeks ago. So I've very eclectic music taste. The interesting thing about Morrissey in the Michigan Arsenal is I always think of this when the name came out. Morrissey has an album called Your Arsenal. And that's the first thing I thought of when I saw the Michigan Arsenal name. I was like, well, that's, interesting.
That's pretty sweet. All right. What kind of food, Coach? Like, what's your favorite food? Your go-to meal or before or after a game?
Hey, anything my lovely wife cooks. Anything my wife cooks is awesome, but I'll tell you what I like. Best meal for me would be a nice T-bone steak, a little side of shrimp, and a twice baked potato. You don't get those everywhere. I love me a twice baked potato.
Man after my own heart, I'll tell you what. All right. What was your favorite football team growing up?
The Cincinnati Bengals. Boomer Esiason was my favorite player.
Okay. And we'll end with this one. Who is the greatest arena football player of all time?
Ooh. Man, I'm gonna throw this out here. Gary Compton.
I'm sure he'll appreciate hearing that one. I mean, we love Gary. He was one of the best. All right, Coach. We appreciate you stopping by the show. We look forward to talking to you again and seeing what the Arsenal do this upcoming season. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for the fans, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to have a great time this year.
We'd like to thank George and Shawn for showing up this week, talking with us, giving us some great information. Look forward to talking to them again in the near future. And right now, we're going to move on to some league news. Adam, what do we got in league news this week?
That's right, guys. We figured, we'd try to give you guys a little bit of what's happening around the AF1, starting with the Oceanside Bombers will be the newest franchise in the AF1. They had their official press conference this past week, making them the 9th team in the league. So we're going to have a team in Southern California. As you can see right here, we got the map up here all the way out there on the West Coast. But unfortunately, there is a missing spot out there because the other night, it was also announced, unfortunately, that the Billings Outlaws would be going dormant for the 2026 season. So we thought we had 10. We're down to 9. You hate to see it. Dad, you were an Outlaws fan because of our friendship with owner Steven Titus there. It does stink to see them not participate this upcoming season, but hopefully that means, wherever the Outlaws land or wherever, if Steve comes back with a team, that they come back strong and ready for 2027, which I think is, from everything we've been hearing from people in the league, 2027 might be bigger than 2026, but we got time to get there. Any thoughts about those two announcements before we go on to the last news item?
No, the Oceanside team has kind of been rumored for some time. It just took a while to get the actual official announcement of to announce the team and everything, have a press conference. But a lot of people have known about it for a while. But the news about the Outlaws came out of nowhere just the other night. Sad to hear. I love the Billings Outlaws, but it is what it is. And hopefully we'll see them back somewhere. Maybe not in Billings, but maybe somewhere else.
Maybe. We kind of figured something was happening. They've been so quiet all off season, and it stinks to hear, But like I said, hopefully 2027, the team can come back in some form. Because, I think the league was better for having that team and that organization. That's where Arsenal quarterback Malik Henry was playing last year. So
Yep.
very bummed to see that team go that way. But like I said, we march forward, and we'll see how 2026 goes before we get to 2027. The last news item I have here is something that got brought to our attention after we did our interview with George. George did kind of give a little tease. He said it was cool for us to kind of throw out there, guys, that the Arsenal are planning a special event at the Dow Event Center in Saginaw, Michigan, sometime in January. It's still fluid right now. But this is an event for sponsors to kind of come look at the arena, maybe pick out where, hey, I want my ads here. I want my thing on that dashboard, stuff like that. He said he'll probably have players there to meet with potential sponsors. I don't know if season ticket holders will also be there so people can pick out their seats too. So more details will come, George assured us. So just keep your eyes out for that, this show, and the Arsenal social media accounts, because lots of cool stuff coming down the pipeline with the Arsenal.
Okay. All right, I think that's everything that we've got for this first episode of Inside the Arsenal.
Yeah.
So, Adam, why don't you wrap things up?
All right, that's right, guys. We appreciate you guys for checking out the show. Arsenal fans, if you have questions, thoughts, or future topics you'd like us to cover here on Inside the Arsenal, leave those down in the comments section of the YouTube video. Maybe you'll see those featured sometime down the line in a future installment.
Join us again next time as we continue to go inside the Arsenal.